All right, guys, welcome. If you are just watching the replay, I am Jim Larson. I am direct to, I get to say I am direct to Symmetry Financial Group now, by way of Jamie Susie, Jacob Pogue in that Marshall Wayland, Sarah Reinecke in that Marshall Wayland hierarchy. So excited to be in the best mentorship. I am excited tonight to introduce a friend of mine, Miss Ashley Richard. Sid, if you can find her on here, let's stop sharing screen and let's bring me and Ashley up here in Spotlight video. I'm going to introduce her, but I want to get her up on this screen with me. Ashley, does it throw you off? Does it throw you off so bad the first time? Like you're on a Zoom, you're like in a gallery, and then all of a sudden it's like your face really big. Does that throw you off like it throws me off?
It does. Yeah, I hate it.
I hate it.
Turn it
so
off.
Much. I'm always like, I immediately go to my view on my own screen. I'm like gallery view, gallery view. I don't need to see all that. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you on here. You shot me this text to introduce you, and I told you as soon as you shot this over to me, this is an exact text back. I said, you are such a freaking boss. Seeing this in writing in front of me is mind-blowing exciting. I'm going to read this off, guys. So this is Ashley Richard. She's been with Symmetry Financial Group for 4 years. She was a top 10 rookie with a top 10 rookie agency, earning the Impact Player Award. She was the #1 female producer in the Ryan Miller Agency, which is not a small agency at all in the Symmetry world. She has written over 1,950 applications for over $1.5 million on her own pen. She is the first person in Symmetry Financial Group to write over 100 apps for over 100K 3 months in a row. You heard that right, 100 applications for 100K 3 months in a row. Month 1, she did 113 apps for 103K. You saw our leaderboards for the month, right? She'd have been up there at 113 apps herself for 103K month 1. Month 2, 126 apps for 107K. Month 3, 112 apps for 113K. Single mom and homeschooled her 6- and 8-year-old boys, and she has a zillion animals. So this is Ashley Richard. I'd love y'all to meet my friend.
First off, can I say thank you for saying my name correctly? Everyone is like Ashley Richards, and they add like 7 S's at the end. Sometimes people say Richardson. I'm like, oh, did we just add a whole extra ending? It's not just an S. We're going to make up whatever ending we can put on Richard. You're like the only person that's ever said my name correctly. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's funny. I just stalked Facebook. I actually was like, does she have an S on the end or doesn't she? And so I had to just stalk you to figure out if I was going to do it right. I wasn't naturally. I was going to be the guy with the 4 S's at the end. 100%.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I just go with it.
So, I mean, I'm going to have you just back up and kind of just share what brought you into Symmetry and all that stuff. But I've got to start with this is we connected, and I don't think you knew me at all.
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did.
But when you put out, like, I'm going for this 300K in 90 days, I literally was like, it wasn't, hey, who is this girl? And I want to follow along because give me some popcorn and let me sit and watch this. What I respected, and I don't even say respected, that doesn't do it justice. What I truly admired more than anything was the fact that you put it out there before you did it. Like you just said, I'm going to take y'all for a ride. This is what I'm going to do. Come line up your seats. We'll pop the popcorn and I'm going to go do that. I'm like, immediately I'm in. Like I am edge of my seat. What is she doing? What is she doing? And we'll get to like unpacking that, but talk to us about where you found the confidence and the courage to claim a goal no one had done, not even yourself. Where'd you find that confidence and courage to just freaking put that out there? What if you didn't do it?
That wasn't a question in my mind. So that's I guess where it starts. To kind of give you a direct answer for that, I find that people naturally have this tendency to have like what if syndrome, where we just play this game of like, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? And normally they're negative things. Normally they're like, what if I can't do this? What if I don't make this sale? What if I let this person down? Like it's not a naturally optimistic way of thinking. And throughout my journey in symmetry, I mean, when I started, like you heard my speech at Ignite, I didn't start like in the greatest position ever. So I think through that, I mean, my childhood, I've always been extremely competitive at sports. It's funny, I have this picture on my desk. This is me and my sister when we were kids. I don't know if you can see that. So that was like my little competitive buddy of like, I wanted to beat my sister at everything. I was the younger sister, so I'm naturally wired that way. And just as far as treating this as a business, so I've got my brain wired this way of like, okay, what if I do this? It was never, what if I don't do this? It was basically, I'm going to do this. So that pattern of thinking just changed throughout being in symmetry and being around the right type of people. And then, I mean, the business can be traced numerically. You can run your numbers backwards. When you start, you should be tracking your dials, contacts, and appointments. You should be tracking your show rate. You should be tracking what your APV is. And it's a law of averages. Basically, we'll just do a law of halves, right? So I know if I've got 20 appointments booked in a week, at this point, when I'm doing 100,000, obviously my numbers are different, but for simple math sake, we're going to say 20. If I've got 20 appointments booked in a week, I know 10 are going to show. I know I'm going to write at least 5. I know the average APV per application is $1,000 of premium. Typically, there's 2 people on each application. That's a $10,000 week. So how do I make that larger where now I can write 100,000? So you're able to actually numerically show what you want to do, and then it's just up to you to go do it. Right? It's up to you to make sure your mind is sharp. It's up to you to make sure you're showing up on every single call, that you're plugged in, that you're calling your mentor, that you're doing all the things. You have a schedule, you're reading, you're filling your mind with the right things, and then you just do it one day at a time. I think the greatest motto ever is one day at a time. I knew that I could not control what was going to happen tomorrow and the next week and the next day and so on. But I knew today, this is what I need to get done. I need to make sure that I have this many appointments and that I am at least writing business every single day. If I do that, then I could start to look at it at the end of the week where, okay, I broke 20,000, I broke 30,000, I'm good this week. Now let's start for the next week because we're not done yet, and just keep going from there.
Man, it sounds so easy when you put it that way, Ashley.
Everyone can do it.
Oh gosh. Can you guys put a 2 in the comments if you saw Ashley on stage at Ignite? I know we've got a bunch here. I don't know if you've got the comments pulled up and you can see that, but we've got a bunch of people saw you there. For the ones that didn't, bring us back to your story in where we're at in life that you were looking for something, and you could have done anything with your time. Why symmetry?
Yeah, so before I had children, I was a high school teacher. I taught biology. I coached the girls' soccer team. On a great year, I might have made $40,000 a year. And then I just saw how broken the school system was. So, you know, I'm married and told my husband, look, if we have kids, I will do whatever it takes to homeschool them. I am never putting my kids in the public school system. I don't care what it takes. Sell everything I own. I just need 5 pairs of clothes. I'll rotate through those suckers every day. I don't care. I want to homeschool my kids. And, you know, my marriage was extremely toxic, to say the least. And so I had my first son in 2015, and it was around that time that I heard about Symmetry Financial Group because he started working with Symmetry Financial Group. And so I just kind of saw, man, this guy never works. And like, we have no problem paying bills. So what is this thing? And, you know, within those first couple of years, I kept hearing Ryan Miller, Michelle Miller, you know, all these people in Symmetry. And 2016 now, you know, I'm pregnant with my second child. And that was the first time I actually said out loud, I want a divorce. I can't do this. I'm literally not gonna survive. And at that point, it got a little bit too scary of a situation for me to get out of. I was in pure mom mode, survival mode. So in 2016, I did what any woman does. You go on your husband's phone and you get numbers of people that you might need to call in case of an emergency. And so I did. I went on his phone. I got all these Symmetry people. I had no idea who they were, but I was basically like, when I'm ready to get out, like, this is what I'm doing. And so 2017, I had my second child, and again, pure mom mode, just wanted to make sure my kids were good. I literally did not care about anything else. And fast forward a couple years, 2019, I had some other things happen that kind of triggered some memories of things, and it hit me very hard as far as, oh my goodness, I need to get out of this situation right now. And, you know, I filed for divorce. In that, I literally had $0 to my name, and I was actually filling out paperwork for food stamps and Medicaid. And I called this guy, Ryan Miller. He had no clue who I was, but again, I mean, Ryan and Michelle had a reputation that they had already established. And so I'm just in tears. This man answers the phone. I'm shocked. I'm just like, Ryan, hi. You don't know who I am, but I know who you are. Please help me. This is my situation. I know I can do this. I just need somebody to show me how. Please help me. Like, I mean, I was desperate. And so it was at that point where, you know, I signed up for a course. I was taking out credit cards. I was maxing out credit cards. I was requesting credit card limit increases. Shoot, I mean, I was picking up furniture on the side of the road. I put it in a vehicle while I had a vehicle, and before that got taken. And so I would just slap some old paint that I found in the garage, and I'd sell it on OfferUp, on Letgo. I mean, it was like 50 bucks here, 100 bucks here, 150 bucks here. Whatever I could do, I would sell some of my kids' toys, things like that, because I knew, okay, like, I know I have to buy leads. I didn't have an issue buying leads. I already saw that the system worked. So I was like, I have to have money to buy leads. I have to have money to, you know, get my kids diapers and wipes and necessities and things like that. So for me, there was no other option. I was not going to have someone else raise my children while I'm working all day. So it was just a matter of, I'm going to figure this out, period. And in that, when I started in the beginning, it was in-person appointments. So, you know, I'm driving to appointments. I'm trying to, which I've never left my children before. Y'all want to talk about a no-show? Talk about a mother at the rock bottom when she's leaving her kids with someone she doesn't want to leave her kids with, driving an hour to an appointment that no-shows. Like, that hits a little harder than when you're at home in your pajamas and you're just fine. So yeah, I was, you know, the first month was in person, first 2 months actually. And I remember, you know, I spent $1,200 on leads, and I wrote $20,000 of business the first 2 months. And I didn't even know what the heck a term policy was, Jim. Like, I didn't even know what a whole life policy was. I mean, I knew nothing. I didn't even know how I got licensed. I remember calling Ryan and I was like, is this legal? Because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I literally don't know what I'm doing. And so he was just like, we got you. Just book appointments. Like, we got you. And so after that, I remember very quickly, I had like $7,000 in my account. And I was just like, oh man, I'm rich. Like, I've made it. I have arrived. $7,000. This is great. So I called Ryan and I was like, I'm going to go on vacation because I'm stressed out and I need a break. And so sure enough, Ryan knew how that works for new agents. I'm sure a lot of people on here, you get going like running really fast and you're like, cool, I got this. I'm going to go on vacation, and you come back and your bank account's empty and you're like, what did I just do? That was not a good decision. And so that's what happened to me, except when I was out of town. That's when COVID hit. So literally the whole country shut down. And so I came back and everyone's talking about Zoom and video chats and all this stuff. And I am severely technologically disabled. Like, Jim, even if you didn't send me the wrong link, I still would have struggled to sign on to this meeting. I promise you. And so I sat back and I did nothing like any normal person. And I didn't, you know, try Zoom or anything for like a month or two. And I just watched everyone else. And then eventually I just got really pissed off, Jim. And so I was like, you cannot tell me that all these people are more motivated than me, Ryan. And he was like very direct with me and just, which I like, he's like, Ashley, you're the only person stopping you. And so then I was like, okay, Zoom, I'm going to try this Zoom thing. So I did it. I booked an appointment. I sent him a Zoom link. Sure enough, I'm on, Zoom with this complete stranger, and my 2-year-old comes in screaming because he went number 2 in his diaper. And then his 4-year-old comes in, like it was a mess. And so I looked at the person on the screen and I said, never mind, this was fun. I'll have to call you later. I gotta go. So I was one and done with Zoom as well. That was it. I was like, this doesn't work for me because I need to take advantage of a mute button and I need to fake that I have tech issues or I'm loading a screen or something like that. Because my kids will come in and out. So basically at that point, I made up my mind again and I was like, I'm going to do everything over the phone. And so from that point on, I remember it was July of 2020. So I had been doing it for like 6 months. And I wrote 15,000 that month, everything over the phone. And then something clicked in my mind where I was like, oh, I can do this and I can do this really well. How do I write 15K in a week? Now I was not satisfied with 15,000 in a month and it was go time. And ever since then, I mean, I've never looked back. My average APV every single year is between 30 and 40,000 a month. Some months obviously significantly higher than that. So yeah, that's how I'm here. So anyone can make it, Jim.
Man, I feel like there's so much people can resonate with, and I want to connect them with you a little bit. So we're going to play in the comments here, guys. Put a 3 in the comments if you have said or felt, I need to make this work. I want Ashley to see that she's talking to her people here. Okay? We got some people backs against the wall. Put a 4 in the comments, and this is gonna be some real talk. I'm gonna dig some things a little bit. Put a 4 in the comments if you have caught yourself frustrated that other people are winning and you're not figuring it out. Yeah, it is frustrating, isn't it? That's the hard stuff right there. How did you channel, Ashley, that frustration of seeing other people winning? How are you able to manage your emotion in that and show up in a positive, productive way rather than in a self-destructive way?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's definitely something that I've learned to channel very well. Because you guys got to remember, I mean, I was going through like some pretty traumatic stuff during basically the last 4 years. Not normal things that I was calling Ryan and Michelle for. Not only was I frustrated with the business and trying to figure it out because I didn't know what I was doing, I had gone through things that most mothers should never have to go through. Most women should never have to go through. So for me, I feel like if I lose my self-control, the other person wins. So what can I do to channel that and to send a message where I don't have to say anything to anyone? My actions speak for themselves. I'm not going to get anywhere by screaming at someone or cussing at someone or losing my cool or, getting emotional about it or all those things. Have I done all those things? Heck yes, I have. But I want to use that as fire. I want to pour gasoline on how motivated I am, and I want to take it to the complete next level. I don't ever want to be complacent or satisfied with where I'm at. There's something with when you're around people that are complacent. Sorry, you guys will hear my dogs bark. I do have 4. I told you, Jim. There's something about when you're complacent, like it should make your skin crawl. It should kind of like be a wake-up call as far as like, wait, I should not be comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I'm not growing. And literally this just happened to me 2 days ago. I had 2 days ago, I was like, oh, I feel comfortable. I don't like this. Ew, like get off. I need to do something more. The life is so short. It's so short. I think we're in life insurance. We should have a little bit of realization with how short life is. I don't know if anyone on here has ever like gotten a death claim and like given it to a family and gone through that. It's so short. Don't waste your time being negative, complaining. not doing anything that's going to make you a better person, a better business owner, a better daughter, brother, husband, wife, sister, parent, all of these things. Like, you should be focusing your time on being the best you that you can be. We need the best Sean, the best Drew, the best Stephanie, the best Amber. Amber, I see you writing a bunch, by the way. I like it. The best Sid, like that's who we need. We don't need another Ashley. We don't need another Jim. We need you, exactly who you are, and what you contribute to others is priceless and unique to you. I know that I'm very unique. I'm wired a certain way. I'm motivated a certain way. I want to be able to impact people in a positive way. And if I can show people how to channel whatever they're going through in life to motivate them to make the most out of this unbelievable opportunity. You're not going to find an opportunity like this anywhere. I mean, we always hear this is a $1 trillion business, all this stuff. Yes, it is. But this is not just an opportunity for who's got the most cash in their bank account. This is an opportunity for when you're not here anymore. What are you leaving behind? How do people remember you? How do your children remember you? How does your spouse, your family, the people that you work with day in and day out, like, this is so much bigger for me than dealing with the little nitpicky stuff that's not going to make me a better person, mother, business owner, all those things. So eventually you got to kind of get out of your own way, but you still have to actually take responsibility for who you see in the mirror. If you look yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see, then change it. Do something about it. Don't sit here and pout about it. Actually do something. And by do something, that means write it down and get a plan in place. Don't say something, do it. Your actions are what show people who you are, not your words. Trust me, I've been around a lot of people that talk a lot and say a lot. If you don't do it, I'm not going to respect anything that you said, and I'm not going to believe anything that you say. Let your actions speak for you. So that's the kind of person that I want to be, as far as, obviously I'm on a call and I'm talking right now, but I want to actually have what I did behind, a Zoom call, show people who I am, answering the phone for someone that I don't even know, helping someone in another agency that has no financial gain for me whatsoever, things like that. Actually taking the time to talk to someone who's 89 and they want mortgage protection, and like all they can qualify for is Mutual of Omaha's critical advantage policy. Like, I'm going to take the time to talk to that person. Those are the things. Reading the books, just the whole nine, completely immersing yourself in the Symmetry culture. That's it. Leave the rest behind. It's not going to serve you.
I'm so glad that I have a standing desk, because if I was sitting down, I would be standing up anyway. Like, that is one of those, like, just keep going. I'm gonna shut up in the corner, and you you can't, man, that speaks to my soul. It speaks to and what it should speak to every one of you. And the reason we're drawn to that message is every one of us has that haunting inside that we are called to more, and we are capable of more, and we're sitting on this. And that's why you feel like, I have to go do something with it. Of course you do. Now, here's what I want to ask you, Ashley. I'm going to put you in the spot with some hard questions, and I hope you're cool with it.
I'm cool with it. I'm an open book.
So what I love about that grit, that determination, that drive, that channeling the competitive energy, which has the potential to derail a lot of people, you turned it into, I'm gas on the fire and we're freaking going. Like, it's go time. Now, I have a lot of agents on here that want to do that. They feel the fire, they want to pour the gas on it, but what they're running into is the fact that, this isn't just like, I need to go lose weight. Now, that falls on me. I control my diet, I control my exercise, I go do it, I get the results. Sales relies on me and that other person on the other end of the phone, and I can want it as bad as I want it, and I can pour money into leads as much as I can pour money into leads, but there's still an element where this depends on them working. How did you cross the bridge in the skill set of, like, okay, you might want it, but how did you get them to get on board with you wanting it? How did that process and skill set get developed?
Yeah, I mean, either way, you have to remember this takes practice. It is a skill. I mean, I think in college I worked at Dillard's and I sold shoes. And when I say I sold shoes, I stayed in the back and tried on shoes, and I used my paycheck to buy shoes that I didn't need. And then I went, back to my college dorm and that was it. So I don't really know what I was doing there. I didn't have any sales experience. I'm very much an introvert. Like I'm completely fine not being around people or talking to anyone. I'm cool with my kids and my animals. That's all I need and I'm fine. So I'm not your typical salesperson. However, you guys have to remember, I went from doing, one appointment a week to now having thousands of appointments under my belt. And so when you decide this is what you're doing, that means there are no other options. That means you're not looking for another option unless it's something where like you need money to buy leads and you're in the beginning and you're struggling. I mean, nobody's going to like this, but do you have a TV? Do you need a Netflix and chill, or do you want to sell your TV and buy leads and actually start a business? Something that you can actually make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from very quickly. Things like that, you got to like really dig down deep and ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want here? Ask yourself that question. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want here? Because I was willing to sacrifice everything. I was willing to sacrifice my sleep. In fact, tonight I still have appointments at 10 and 11 o'clock at night. I'm doing 75 hard with another agent and I'm very competitive. So he knows I'm going to actually finish it. And he's tried it 4 times and failed. So now I get to talk crap to him and be like, you're not going to quit, right? You're not going to quit. Things like that, like actually bring people with you to like grow and push out of your comfort zone. But when it comes to sales, it's something that's learned. There's a psychology there. Because I practiced over and over and over, and I knew I'm going to figure this out no matter what. I just had to keep practicing. I mean, Jim, I use this example too. If I asked you to go outside and go shoot, some hoops, stand at the free throw line, I want you to take 100 shots. I want you to make 50 of them. Don't leave till you do that. You're not going to do it the first time, especially maybe you will, but most people are not going to do that because if you haven't played basketball, if you haven't practiced, your body's not trained to keep doing the same exact motion to make the shot over and over. So I knew, let me figure out one thing at a time, and it's a domino effect. Let me figure out, I got to buy leads. Check. That's very easy to find out. You should get leads every single week. Next, I need to book appointments. How do I actually get people on the phone and book appointments? Okay, I booked some appointments, but I booked them for the next week. That's all they could do. I booked them for, no, that's not it. We're going to book 24 to 48 hours max. I don't even do 48 hours. I do 24 hours. Okay, so I'm going to get really good at my posture, which most people are uncomfortable with, and let people know I'm busy. This is the only time I have for the rest of my life. This is the only time I have, 24 hours out. And now I'm going to see what my show rate is. If my show rate is at least not a 50% show rate, then I know I have a problem with when I'm booking appointments and closing it at the end. I'm not doing like a hard close on my appointments. So let me fix that. Next domino falls. Got it. I'm good at booking appointments. Now the person shows. Now I'm going through my presentation. Am I recording presentations? Am I listening to myself, hearing how I sound, how I ask questions, when I ask questions, why I ask questions? When did I actually lose the person? Did I talk too much? Listen to yourself, go through a presentation, okay? Master each individual part of a presentation. I'll have people break it down in outline form. We've all got like the best script and the real script and then, all that stuff. That's a starting point, okay? That's going to show you where you need to follow because you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to look at an outline and I'm going to start to make it my own so I get more comfortable because guess what? I like to laugh at stupid things. So I like to say stupid jokes. And if they don't laugh, the families I'm talking to, that's okay. I made myself laugh. Either way, I want to have fun through the entire process. If I'm dialing, I promise you I'm making myself laugh. If I'm running appointments, I promise you I'm making myself laugh because I'm not going to be miserable doing this. I'm going to have fun doing this. Now I've mastered presentations, okay? Now I've actually written an application on a lead, a complete stranger. I did the whole process. Boom, domino falls. Now I've got belief. Now I know I can do this. I just went all the way through. Oh my gosh, but it got declined. Dang it. Now I got to go back and fix something. go back and fix. Are you asking medication questions? Are you doing the little things? And then you start tweaking it here, tweaking it there. How do I ask for bank info? How do I ask for a social security number? Let me get really good at the intricacies of a presentation. And guess what? When you're doing that with people that you bring on board, hey, you guys want to hear this call? Oh man, this was a good one. I recorded this. It was so good. This lady started off and she was just yelling at me. She said she didn't want to actually do this and blah, blah, blah. And I wrote an application on her. Okay, let's listen to it. Let's just see what you sound like, what questions you ask, things like that. So now you're doing it as a team. Now you're bringing people on and now you've mastered each individual process. And now you know exactly what you need to do week after week to be consistent, because this is the name of the game. You cannot come in here and be occasionally great. You need to come in here and be consistently great or consistently good, whatever one you fall at. I don't like being good. That's not good enough for me. I like being consistently great or better. So whatever you want to be consistently great at, don't come in here and be great for a week and disappear for 3 weeks and then be great for a month and disappear for 3 months. Be consistent. This is a business. If you were clocking in to work for someone else's dream, you sure as heck wouldn't show up for a week and disappear for 3 weeks or you'd be fired. That makes no logical sense whatsoever. And again, sorry if I'm offending anyone, but this is just, it is what it is. So it's mastering each individual piece, and then it's teaching other people how to do that. Letting people go through that struggle themselves too, as far as tracking their business, calling their upline, listening to their own recording, giving feedback before you ask for feedback. Hey, Jim, I was on this phone call last night. I'm going to send it over to you. Can you listen to it? I think I messed up here. Maybe I can switch this. Let me know what you think. Either way, you can't mentor someone who's not working. You can't mentor someone who has no activity. So when you come in here and you're just like, hey, I need help. Cool. What are your numbers? How many appointments did you run? Like, let's look at what you got here. That's where you have to actually be serious, okay? And again, your actions show who you are, not your words. That's great if you call your upline every day, but if you made 2 dials and 13 dials and 36 dials, you're not treating this like a business. This is barely a hobby for you. This is just, I'm bored. I'm going to get on the phone and like maybe push some numbers and see what happens. You got to get going. You're trying to get somewhere. So it's just a process. You just have to stick it out. You're going to learn, you're going to get better, but you learn way faster if you're consistent and you don't quit. People have a tendency to quit on themselves. So that's what you got to fix first, is what's going on in your mind.
And you said that, and I took this note in the very first question you answered. You talked about having your mind sharp and staying plugged in. Talk to us about what do you mean by having your mind sharp? Like, to Ashley Richard, what is having your mind sharp? What does that mean? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I'm super direct with this one too. I don't associate with anyone who does not align with who I want to be as a woman, who I want to be as a mother, who I want to be as a business owner. If you don't contribute to that in a positive way, you're not welcome in my space, period. And that includes if your family members can't be in my space. I'm sorry. I love you dearly, but I'm trying to be the best Ashley Richard that I can be, because my greatest impact in society is who those 2 little boys that I am the mother to turn out to be as men. So I don't have the luxury of failing and quitting. I don't have the luxury of not caring, because my purpose is bigger than just me, you know, writing a bunch of premium or something like that. So when I say keep your mind sharp, who are you talking to every single day? That's super important. What do you listen to every single day? I love Jesus. I love my Jesus music. So I listen to Christian music and instrumental music. That's it. And I used to love, you know, some gangster rap back in the day, Jim. I mean, I got down on some R&B, Usher for the Super Bowl. I knew all of those songs. I was shocked. I remembered them all. So I was like, good Lord. So it's just, what are you listening to? Because there's such a subconscious thing that happens when you're listening to sad music or aggressive music or negative music, things like that. What are you reading? What are you filling your mind with? We're all, you know, on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all these social media things. Before you do any of that, what are you reading? And I don't mean listening to an Audible book. That's like one of my pet peeves when someone's like, oh, I'm reading a book. I was listening to it on Audible. I was like, that's not reading, that's listening. They're two different things. So I mean like a paper book where you can write in it, you can underline it, you can highlight it, you can make little smiley faces or whatever the heck you want to do to keep notes. Read a paper book, educate yourself on someone else's life experience and how that can make you a better you. Okay, so that as well. The other thing is, if you can't show up to a team call ever so often, every single week, like we have huddles every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got the national call on Wednesdays. We've got a team call on Fridays. We've got another call on Thursday, which I think you're going to be on this week. Woohoo! And so if you can't actually say, yes, I'll show up to that and show up to that, are you really a dependable person? I mean, to me, that's not a dependable person. I want to be around people that are dependable and people that show up. So those are the things that I mean. I mean, if everyone on here, I'm sure people binge watch shows and all that stuff. I always say Netflix and chill. I am not trying to Netflix and chill, okay? I'm trying to educate myself. I'm trying to motivate myself, inspire myself, and I'm trying to spread that to other people. That's what I want to do. I can't take Netflix with me when I'm gone. So you have to actually make decisions that make you uncomfortable in the beginning. But then once you start doing it, Jim, when you start actually doing the right things, you actually love it. You're like, this is so much better. I feel so much better. I'm happier. I'm stronger. I stand taller. I speak with more confidence. Exactly. Amber just said it's addicting. It truly is. It's just like, man, why would I ever want to go back to being complacent and taking naps and watching Netflix and like doing all these things? It's not serving my life and my purpose. I get it. Everyone needs a break. You need to check out and things like that. But again, if everyone on this screen, if you guys all had a clock on this screen and you saw how long you had left, would you really be taking naps? Would you really be complaining about what you're complaining about? Would you really be watching Netflix and chilling? You've got a time expiration. You just can't see it. You can't see it yet. So you have to start living your life like you're truly on a countdown. Every single minute is important. Every single minute is valuable. You can't buy another minute back. You can't buy another second back. So that's where it has to actually like hit you that hard as what changes do I need to make to actually be the best me so I can contribute more to society and where I'm at. So yeah, there you go.
I have so many people in the comments right now laughing at me because you're calling me out so hard. I only listen to Audible and I take a daily nap.
Well, no more.
Apparently not. Apparently I'm
No
doing
more.
it wrong. I'm like, I've literally told people, I'm like, I don't care how it gets in here. You can listen to it, you can read it. And then Ashley's coming up and like, you're going to read a paper book. I'm like, damn it, Ashley. Okay, I'm going to go get a paper book.
It's totally different. It's a total different effect.
It is a different effect. It is for sure. What's next for you? What's next for Ashley Richard in business?
What's next for me? I mean, so I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. As you guys can tell, I'm like very type A. I'm very like, give me a target and that's it. I'm gonna demolish the target. I'm not even gonna like just one shot straight through. I'm gonna demolish it. So I'm good at production. When it comes to actually building and helping people, meeting people where they are, I have to develop myself more as a leader. Hence this book, 100X Leader. I don't know if that's the right way for you guys. But so I need to fix my mind because I know not everyone's wired the same way that I am. I know some people are balancing different things that I'm not balancing and vice versa. So this is also about how can you reach everyone who wants to actually have this opportunity, because some people come here and they just need to make an extra $2,000 a month. Maybe they just want to spoil their grandkids. Some people come here and they need to make 5,000 and that's it. They're good. They're balancing too much. They still have another job. They might need, you know, something, this, that, or the other. Some people want to come here and make $40,000 a month. Some people want to be millionaires. Everyone's got something different. It in no way is a reflection of who you are as a person. Your money in your bank account is not a reflection of who you are as a person. It's how you conduct yourself when you do what you say you are going to do. That is what shows who you are as a person. And so I want to be able to not strictly be like 100 miles an hour, go, go, go. It's more for me as far as like, okay, how can I reach every person in between? And at the same time, you know, like my schedule is very chaotic because I'm homeschooling kids. I literally do have more animals than I can count. So balancing like regular life, you know, finding balance to that and not overextending myself to the point that I burn out, things like that. So being a better leader to everyone, not just myself. I know I can lead myself. I want to be able to lead everyone and anyone in between.
I have no doubt that you're going to crack that code. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch. Going to that 90-day run, and we're coming up against time. We've dug into a lot. I think people can see how you're wired. That it's clear to see how you got to that goal. But can you just give us your stats on that? Like APV submitted, lead cost, net profit on that in that short period of time?
Yeah, for sure. So I spent 29,000 and change on leads. It was under 30,000. I wrote 322,000 in my bank account. It was right around, it was like 223, 225,000 that was deposited in my bank account. And from that, like I said, I worked the numbers backwards. So I knew if I had 50 appointments in the books, 25 would show. And again, if I have 10 appointments, I'm going to close 9 or 10 of them. So I knew even if I didn't get to 50, let's say I got to 40 and 20 showed, my show rate's higher than that. It was myself and a dialer booking appointments. I did not do all of the appointment booking myself, but it was 2 of us, and she was sick for several of the weeks that I was doing it. So there were some weeks where it was just me on my own, and you can see those weeks where like I barely squeaked out 20,000. So if you go back and look at that, I did post on my Facebook at some point, like every single week that I did that. So if you work that backwards, let's say I'm gonna just do a law of halves for an average agent. 50 appointments booked, 25 are gonna show. I'm gonna round up slightly and say I closed 13 of those. And again, the average APV per application is $1,000 of premium. There should be 2 people on each appointment on average. If not, I'm writing multiple applications as well, so I still can factor that in. Everyone who's on here, I do grouping when I actually am writing multiple applications. You'll see I probably have like the highest app count out of anyone in Symmetry, like way higher. And that's because I'll do a lot of accidental policies, children's whole life policies, critical advantage policies. I'll just stack it all, but I give one price and it's all grouped in together. So it's not uncommon that I might have an appointment and I'll write 4 applications on an appointment or 6 applications or things like that. And so with that, to keep it simple, $1,000, there's 2 people. So let's say I'm writing 13 of those 25 presentations that I went through, 2 applications for each one. That's $26,000 of premium every week. I knew I needed to write 23,000 and change every single week. So basically I knew my goal minimum break 20K each week, because I know I'm going to have some weeks that I'm going to hit higher than that. So in my mind, I was like, no matter what, break 20K every single week. So some weeks, like I wrote 35,000 one week, 27, 28. So then I knew, okay, I've got like a couple thousand I can put towards next week, but I'm still going to at least hit 20K. So that's how I rolled them backwards.
Man, I love when people break barriers, because not everybody can see the potential, right? Sometimes we need someone else to do it first to say, oh, okay, that's possible. Now, what you did in 90 days and you netted somewhere around $190,000, guys, if you're listening to this, I think we're up to 5. Put a 5 in the comments if you would be cool with that kind of money in your bank account for the year. Yeah. It's a lot of 5s. After listening to Ashley, who pulled this off in 90 days, how many of you put a 6 in the comments if you think you could do that this year.
Where's Amber? She better have a 6.
Amber better have a 6. There she is. There's her 6. Ashley, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know how precious your time is. We are so honored by that, so grateful. You know, I will repay this favor any way that I can.
Yes.
For those of you listening, can we leave one word for Ashley on how she impacted us and what we're going to take from this and do this? Ashley gives her time because she wants to know she's leaving an impact. And so if we can let her know that she made that impact, that's how she's going to know this was worth her time. I am super grateful for you, friend. Thank you so much.
Thankful for you. I'm so glad I got to see you and I've gotten to chat with you. Thank you for your time as well, even not on these calls, chatting with you on the phone and everything. You're awesome. So happy to be here. It's a blessing for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, have a good night, everybody. This will get posted up on our YouTube page tomorrow. You can watch the replay. And I love y'all. My favorite agents blow up my phone. So let's do it. And let's go change the world. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.